Hi, I'm Mario Mancini, former WWE wrestler and first inductee into the 2014 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. When I want my wrestling news, I watch the Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is July 29th, 2014. This is the Squared Circle. I am your host, your icon in North Haven here, Hollywood J. Williams. I am joined once again by the thunderous one, Mr. Tom Dacey. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Hollywood?
Great, great.
Of course, our co-host, Mr. Zimmerman, is on a much-deserved vacation this week.
Much-deserved vacation. We may be hearing from him a little later on. If he takes a few minutes out of his vacation schedule, itinerary, whatever. I wanted to let everybody know we have a new phone number here just for live call-in shows here at NHTV. Number is on the screen there. It's 203-907-0436.
So mark that down and put it in your phones.
Put it all
as need be.
Put it in your iPhones, your tablets, wherever you store phone numbers, and make sure you have that new number right there on the screen.
I understand, we had some calls last week, but unfortunately they were unable to get through. We were having some difficulty last week.
Our super fan Bill out there, he was trying to contact us last week.
I know Mr. McCarver also was trying to get through.
Right. Well, this week, hopefully, we should not have any problems, and your phone calls should be able to get through with no problem. However, there are some problems with professional wrestling this week. Not so well. There's some problems with WWE, but the problems they're facing aren't nearly as bad as the problems facing WWE's, what would you call them, main adversary right now, or soon to be not main adversary right now. Total nonstop action, TNA Wrestling. Wake up, Tom. Wake up.
What'd you say?
Wake up. As one, shall we say, former Intercontinental Champion in WWE says so eloquently, for TNA, we're afraid we've got some bad news for them. As if this comes to a shock to anybody, TNA will not be renewed by Spike TV in the fall season. This is according to TMZ. According to the report, TNA President Dixie Carter was informed of Spike's decision over the weekend, and Carter then held a meeting to discuss TNA's TV future. It's rather bleak television future at that. TNA is scheduled to air Impact through the month of October, giving the company about 2.5 months to find a new domestic TV home. Are you surprised?
No, I've been saying it all along. I mean, I think they shot themselves in the foot when they started giving their pay-per-views away for free.
That's the main thing right there, giving their pay-per-views away for free, not treating the talent very well, not paying very well, just having a rather boring, stale product compared to the other guy. Was it them having Hogan there? Was it them not having Hogan there anymore? Was it Aces and Eight storyline going on for over a year?
Yeah, I think they shot themselves in the foot with a lot of the things they did over the past year.
Mm-hmm. I noticed a year ago at this time the main heel was Bully Ray, and now at this time the main babyface in the company is Bully Ray. And it makes you, wonder, things like that, unbelievable storylines, personality changes like that. It does make you wonder why Spike made the decision that they made.
If they are done, do you think some of the talent would come to WWE?
I don't, well, you see, given the fact that everybody has to go through that performance center now, I don't know if a lot of them would want to deal with that.
I-
It's you know, because I mean, they would have to, they wouldn't be able to just bring these people in and put them on the main roster.
Do you think Hardy would come back to WWE?
Would they want Jeff Hardy back?
I don't know.
Given his past, his drug abuse, his violations of wellness. I don't know if they'd want him back. I don't know if he'd want to come back. I wouldn't care if he came back. That would be fine by me.
I'd like to see maybe Matt Morgan.
Matt Morgan was somebody that they've been talking about for a while now coming in.
Of course, one of our favorites, Velvet Sky.
Velvet Sky.
Gail Kim.
Angelina Love. I personally, if Vince was to take over their library, I would personally like to see WrestleMania 31, a battle between the two top women's wrestlers in the industry today, AJ Lee and Gail Kim.
There you go.
That's a WrestleMania match right there.
There you go.
We could see who the best is out of the two of them. It's been toyed around on social media before the two of them facing each other, but I have to go with Gail on that one.
Oh, of course. She's your girl. I mean.
Yeah. You know me and the Orientals, right? Of course. I mean, everybody knows that. But that's another story anyway. What about the beautiful people, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, like you said, two other great women's wrestlers? How would you like to see them versus the Bella Twins?
That would be a heck of a match.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Bellas, interesting on Raw last night, huh?
Interesting on Raw last night. With Stephanie McMahon.
Yes. What do you make of that? So we're going to see a match at SummerSlam.
A match at SummerSlam. That's how Raw ended last night. The dispute between the arrest that happened to Stephanie McMahon last week on Raw as the result of slapping and harassing a woman that had a paid front row ticket, getting arrested down in Miami, spending the night in jail, and you don't know what it's like to be in jail. And oh, come on, Steph. You know where you're going if you do go to jail? You're going to Club Fed. So what do you care?
Yeah.
You'll be out by the swimming pool all day anyway. As if they're actually going to put you in the general population with the regular violent criminals.
But do you think we'll actually see that match at SummerSlam? I don't think we'll see a full match. I think
Stephanie versus Brie?
Yeah, I think there'll be some McManigans during that match. Either by Triple H, combined effort, Triple H and his goons, as we shall say.
She has her own goons now. Cameron.
Yeah.
She's got her own goons. I can't read them all off. Alicia Fox, Cameron, Rosa Mendez, I think. Right. So she has her own goons protecting her, watching her back. They might play a factor in that match. I don't know what kind of a wrestler she is compared to Vince McMahon. Yeah. I don't think she nearly has the muscles that Vince McMahon had, that's for sure.
Heck no.
Heck no. It should be an interesting cat fight nonetheless. That's for sure. But we'll get more, we'll talk a little bit about SummerSlam in a little bit. I just want to get back to that TNA thing real quick. Wake up. This is according to the Torch's James Caldwell. These are some of the things that they were talking about as to why Spike TV dropped TNA Wrestling. You could take a nap. I'll wake up when I'm done. Dwindling TV ratings over the last 2 years. Yeah, that would make me want to cancel them. A reduction of star power during TNA's roster transition. They're saying no more Hogan and Sting, maybe. Has something to do with it. TNA Bellator crossover is not generating the expected business. They're moving in a different direction, the network, where they're going to be taking on programming that has less of a financial burden on them, whatever that means. Also, something that they were never informed of, which they're not happy about, is they had Vince Russo as a consultant all these years, and Spike TV never knew that.
Oh, wow.
Vince Russo was consulting for, well, that would explain the quick changes in storyline, because Vince Russo was always good for that.
See, we learned something new, huh?
Right. Because you could tell at the end of WCW in the writing and how bad it was getting at the end. You could tell that was Vince Russo. So Vince Russo is basically destroying another product. But anyway, I have some Daniel Bryan news.
Go right ahead.
Got a lot of Daniel Bryan news here.
Yes, I understand.
Got quite a bit of Daniel Bryan news as it pertains to his health, as it pertains to his home in Arizona. Former WWE World Heavyweight Champ Daniel Bryan will require additional surgery on his arm to repair nerve damage. So anybody expecting him back anytime soon, no. Bryan announced details of his second surgery during a news conference Friday in Arizona. He discussed that as well as the home invasion that he prevented at his home Thursday night. Doctors believe nerve damage repaired to his neck 2 months ago has a second location, a pinched, crushed nerve near his elbow.
Wow.
So that might put him out for, I don't know.
Another, at least a couple of months anyway.
At least a couple of months, maybe. Probably November, maybe Survivor Series.
I was just going to say I probably won't see him until Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, maybe the pay-per-view in December. Hopefully not that long. Hopefully sooner than that. Regarding the home invasion that he, he had a home invasion Thursday night. House got broken into, unfortunately. Bryan and his wife, Brie Bella, outlined details of this at the press conference Thursday night. As to what happened Thursday night. It was a press conference that happened Friday. Excuse me. Brie picked up Daniel Bryan at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport after Bryan attended a Comic-Con in San Diego. When they arrived back home, they found their carport door open and saw two men coming out. Bryan said he chased down one of the men, later identified as Cesar Sosa, while the other man fled. Bryan held the man down prior to Phoenix police arriving at the scene and arresting him. Bryan and Brie were initially fearful that the burglars had taken their dog. They had their dog at the press conference, though. Fortunately, the dog was fine. Now, Daniel and Brie only moved into this house about 10 days ago, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. They just, moved right in 10 days ago. They had to delay installing an alarm security system due to the fact that Daniel Bryan has had intense physical therapy, and she's been having to bring him to his physical therapy appointments and what have you, and because of this big Comic-Con convention that Daniel was involved in that Thursday. So
Messed with the wrong person, huh?
messed with the wrong person. Right. Apparently, I don't know if these people have any history of breaking into homes or not. Probably have a record if they identified him already. But it's real fortunate that they were coming home when they did. Apparently,
Yeah.
and it was a good thing he was able to take down one of those criminals in time. And I guess apparently
Yes. Yes.
Arizona has a make my day law. I guess that was Connecticut, knowing the laws in this state. Daniel Bryan would probably be arrested too, which we wouldn't want to say.
No.
So we have somebody on line one here.
Oh, do we have a phone call?
I think we have a phone call. So let's review this here. Well, I should wait. Okay, here we go. You are live on the Squared Circle.
Hello?
Hello? There's a button over here. Answer. Apparently answered. Hello? Apparently we're still having some problems here. Already hung up.
Try to call back again.
907-0436. Love to hear from you. Whoever that was, we're sorry, whatever happened, but you can definitely try us again. But getting back to this situation here, I mean, that's pretty scary for them, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I would have been scared.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home and seeing burglars flee my house.
Right? Yeah, and I'd probably be beating myself up for not having an alarm system, being a former WWE champion without an alarm system in the house. They want me to check the phone again.
Try the bottom button there. Remember the bottom button?
The speaker button. Hello?
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 Ah, it's good to get through. Now I'm on the air. Good evening, gentlemen.
I
Good
know who
evening.
this is. Good evening, Mr. McCarver.
Good
How
evening.
How are you?
We are doing well.
And I see this. It's good to get through. I see this brand new phone number. I not only programmed it on my iPhone, but on my J phone and my K phone as well. So
That's great.
I'm all set to call in the Squared Circle every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on NHTV.
You have those backup systems. That's great.
Yes, I do.
You need
Yes, I
those.
do. First thing I wanted to say, and I thought the show last week, and really maybe it was good that you didn't get any phone calls because that guest you had was phenomenal. I could listen to him talk all night.
He was like another Mario Mancini.
Definitely.
That's funny, Tommy. That's just what I was thinking too.
And
He was very well spoken. You could tell he had a passion for the sport, as we know Mario does.
Mm-hmm.
And God, the stories he was telling us, God, some of them were sad. But
They were
that was a
sad.
very good guy.
That's somebody I haven't seen in a long time. I see him once in a while around town, and
it was great to see Bulldog again.
Yeah, and he's thinking about making a comeback. He said at 46, maybe stepping into the ring again.
possibly. I think maybe he's looking a little more at training future up-and-coming superstars.
Yeah.
That-
But
that-
he was very good. Now I have to plug, and I know it's the Squared Circle, but I have to plug a new middleweight boxer that will soon become very, very popular. I think he was on HBO's Saturday night. Gennady Golovkin is this young man's name.
Gennady Golovkin.
Gennady Golovkin. They call him Double G. He's actually from Kazakhstan. And well, it's funny when he talks, I do think of Borat.
Borat. I was just gonna say Borat.
But this kid can hit. He's a tremendous puncher, very entertaining fighter. And for those of you in the audience that are hardcore boxing fans, and I know you have them out there, a match between Gennady Golovkin and Miguel Cotto. If that match could be made, I think we can forget about Mayweather and Pacquiao. I think that's the fight that anybody wants to see now, Golovkin and Miguel Cotto. So I just wanted to get a plug-in for that. And one more thing before I hang up, and Jay, I want to direct this toward you. It's rapidly approaching. We're about 1 month before the New Haven Road Race. Have you made your decision yet?
Oh, I'm definitely in. Definitely.
Okay. Good. The 12-miler or the 5K?
Looking like the 5K this year. I wasn't even around last year to do it, but looks like the 5K.
Hey Ed.
Yeah.
Before you go, I just want to make you aware that our good friend John Zimmerman is going to be heading soon to Dolphin Stadium.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, tell him to squish the fish.
That's exactly what he said to me today when I spoke to him earlier.
He's down in the Sunshine State looking at the baseball stadiums.
But
good for him. So, and I heard you say he may call in later on. So
we're hoping to hear from him. But Ed, it was great to see you Saturday.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes,
At
it
our
was.
sister
That
station.
event over in Wallingford. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It felt good to be behind the desk there, huh, Ed?
It actually did. It actually did. And if you want to explain it later on, I'll let you do it. But yeah, I did get a kick out of it. So.
And
we had a good time.
another shameless plug, you and I will be back on the airwaves here next week with Talking with Tom, and we have two special guests. For any viewers out there who may remember PWI, next week our guest will be none other than Mr. Michael Cuomo and Bad News Bob.
Bad News Bob?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
It'll be nice to.
Well, I've got some pull.
How's he been?
Good, I've got some
I
pull.
haven't talked to him in, I haven't talked to him in forever.
From what
Yeah, it'll be nice.
understand, they're coming with their reading glasses.
Really? They'll be inobulating their dictionaries
Yep.
and they're wow.
Yeah, I look forward to that show next week. Actually, and I do have to tell you, Tommy and Jay, I started doing my newscast in preparation for next week, and I did use that Daniel Bryan story about his house getting
Oh, you
broken
did,
into
yeah.
while he was gone. So I may be repeating that story next
Oh,
Tuesday.
go right ahead.
that's-
Go right ahead.
Fine with us.
All right, gentlemen. I'll let you go, and I'll keep watching. Hopefully, we'll hear from John soon.
Take care,
Yeah,
Ed.
definitely.
All
Take
right,
it
have
easy.
a good night, gentlemen. Yeah,
Bye-bye, Ed.
Have a good one. Make sure I'm hanging this up properly here. Nope.
Yep.
We don't want that button
Yeah, we
there.
got it.
We got it. We got it. The phone system works. The phone system works.
About
203-907-0436. Glad to see it working. Okay, now we can go ahead and talk about SummerSlam since we got the Bryan situation out of the way. Hopefully, I'm glad to see they're okay, and hopefully we see Bryan back in the ring sooner than later. So we already talked about Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon, and you see some McMannequins there.
Yes, I think there's going to be some kind of interference there.
Interference there, probably
To benefit Stephanie
to benefit Stephanie
and the authority.
and the authority. Yeah, because somebody said something I saw too on the social media today is this is a WrestleMania quality match, and you're putting it on SummerSlam. Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon. So you might see Stephanie winning, and the feud just continuing on.
Yeah, I can see the feud continuing for a while.
Right, it'll just keep going and going for a
More or
while.
less like the old Steve Austin
Right.
Vince feud.
Right, the female version of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know, Brie Bella trying to defy authority or part of the authority. We also have, as announced last night by Triple H, the COO, Chris Jericho will go one-on-one with the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt.
I'm going to go with Bray.
I'm going to go with Bray too.
Because after all, he's got the whole world
In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. Save us, Y2J. Save us. Jericho more or less comes in nowadays and jobs.
I know if John was here, he'd be saying he'd be going with Y2J.
He'd be going with Y2J. I'm going to go with Bray because I love Bray. I love the character.
I do, too.
I love the whole gimmick, you know, the fact that the lights go off and everybody's cell phones are flashing
Yep.
when the, you know he's holding that lantern, and it was North Haven. We're here. Something like it's just something about it. It's, you know, I see him. There's talk of him being like the next unstoppable force in the WWE, like the Undertaker was.
Yeah.
Something like that, where you know he's going to be hard to beat. Something, you know, just one of those kinds of characters.
Oh, I see him going on for a while. I think he's going to get a big push.
Right. There's talk of him like a babyface turn sooner or later, and he's just gonna he's got like that mystical power, just like the Undertaker had, where you know no matter how many times you knock him down, he's just gonna keep coming back up. Just something about it. So I'm going to go with him. In the WWE title situation, the match, the number one contender has been named as of last Tuesday night. We didn't really get the chance to talk about it because of, Bulldog on and him occupying the show, which was, don't get me wrong, was great. But we didn't get the chance to talk about the main event for SummerSlam, as John Cena will be defending his title. He will go one-on-one with the Beast incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar.
My client, Brock Lesnar, is going to conquer John Cena.
Who, according to Paul Heyman, is not only going to beat John Cena, who is not only going to take the title from John Cena, but he's going to violate John Cena.
Yeah, I found that kind of strange.
That was, yeah. And somebody, actually a former guest of the show, even put on his page, he goes, I guess what Paul Heyman is saying is that Brock Lesnar is going to rape John Cena.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'd put it like
I don't know if I'd put it like that, but it did sound strange to me last night.
It sounded, it's something like that. I mean,
My favorite line of the night was Cesaro to Cena. You're a walking billboard that can't wrestle.
what? And how dare you insult Paul Heyman like this? You are a walking billboard that can't wrestle.
You don't wear sneakers.
Right? You don't wear sneakers in a wrestling match. John Cena's been wearing sneakers for the whole time he's been wrestling.
And of course, Cena making the reference last night to ECW. Did you hear that?
Right, that was good. And something apparently I heard they don't want Cesaro doing anymore is that Cesaro swing, because people love it too much. But he did it to John Cena last night.
Yeah, he sure did.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna hope.
Brock, please. Brock, please.
I'm hoping for Brock Lesnar. Whether I think he'll win or not, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. But I hope it's Brock Lesnar that defeats John Cena and walks away. Even though Brock Lesnar is a part-timer, there's been a lot.
At this point, I don't care. Just as long as Cena takes a rest for a while.
Right. I think not having a champion at all, period. I think them discontinuing the belt would be a better idea than having John Cena as champion. What do you think? Just not even having a belt.
There you go.
Right. I'd rather them just discontinue it altogether than have John Cena wear it for one more day past SummerSlam. I know he does a lot for charity, don't get me wrong, but
give it to somebody new.
Right. I think there needs to be term limits in wrestling like there needs to be term limits in politics. You can only have that push so many times.
So many times we get to see Orton.
And no matter what
Cena.
no matter what you say, no matter what he does, there's a bottom line there with a Cena or an Orton holding the belt constantly is you're holding a locker room down.
That sounded like a Stone Cold line. The bottom line.
Right. You're holding a locker room down. There's so many other people that would love that opportunity to carry the weight of the company on their shoulders and can do it. And you're not giving them the opportunity by constantly. And if you think you're doing it for the kids because the kids love Cena, I got news for you. There's a woman out there that I consider a sister, and we go to wrestling events together all the time, and her son is getting tired of seeing Cena with the belt all the time. He's still in elementary school, and he's getting tired of seeing Cena with a belt. So if you think you're doing it for the kids,
I think that says it right there.
Right.
I mean, look at Heyman even made reference to it last night.
Mm-hmm.
With the Cena sucks
Right.
chant, and
they think they have that tap on what the crowd wants or what people in general want. There's just too much. What it is money. There's just too much money to be had in the fact that Cena has the belt all the time.
Yep.
There's like sweetheart deals going on there. With deals with Mattel. the DVD sales, T-shirt sales, whatever. He just sells a lot of shirts, which I'm sure he does.
One thing I talked to you about earlier, of course, is which I think is kind of stupid, is WrestleMania 30 is on NBC this weekend.
Right.
Now, to me, if you have the network,
Right.
you can go back and watch it anytime you want.
If you have the network, you can go back and watch the whole thing anytime you want. What
Yeah.
you're probably going to be seeing on NBC Sunday night is an edited version of WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of...
The NBC's still going to have their commercials. They're not going to show the
Yeah.
whole thing straight up like you saw. They're going to, there's things they're going to be leaving out. It's probably quite an edited version.
When I saw that the other day, I was like, why would you want to watch it on here? If you have the network, you can just go and watch the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. You could watch that. You could watch the Hall of Fame induction
Yeah.
in its entirety, which was almost as long as WrestleMania itself, as I recall.
Yes.
You can definitely see all that and more on the network. But they're having it on NBC, which is whatever. That's their deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. But another deal they have, and if you go to WWE.com, everybody can see this, and it's dispelling all the rumors. Yeah, right. He's not coming in. He'll never, and we're all guilty of the same thing and of the same assumption that we all had, and that being Steve Borden's, aka Sting, would never work for the WWE ever again. We're going to have to get to that in a minute because
We have another phone call.
we have another phone call. It is blinking. I am going to hit the speakerphone button one more time, and we have another call, and I think I know who it is too. You're live on the air with the Squared Circle.
Hello,
Hello.
the thunderous one, and Hollywood J. What's going on, brother?
We know who this is.
We know. Hey, John. Like I said, I knew who it was.
How you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. Yesterday, I signed in with the crew of Fox Sports South over there in Atlanta, Georgia, and tonight I am in Tampa Bay watching the Rays get beat by the Brewers.
How's the weather out there?
It is hot and sticky, which is nice if you're with a lady, but it sucks if you're outside. So, how's the show going?
Good.
Show's going great so far. We ran down SummerSlam. We're about to talk about the interview that Sting has on WWE.com.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of big news I'm missing out on this week.
A lot of big
Have
news.
you shown any of the interview footage you shot, Jay?
No, not yet. Not yet. Matter of
Alright.
fact, I have some security footage that arrived
really?
that arrived at the home office today, and I don't know if the guys were able to get it ready. But I understand that Jay had a confrontation with Saru.
I did.
Oh, you got some heat with that Saru.
That zoo animal, and that's all he is. I'll bottom line it for you.
I don't know. Do we have that? Do we have that security footage ready, fellas?
They're telling me it's converting still.
Oh, okay. They're still working on
They're
it in
still
the back.
working on it in back.
All right, well, I won't keep you guys too long. Keep the show running without me, and I will be back next week.
It's running great. You know, it was a year ago that I was somewhere else, and you kept it running for me. So
That's correct.
I'm
That's
returning the
correct.
favor. I mean, 365
Yeah,
days later, but
I finally earned some tenure and got some time off.
exactly.
Yeah, like I said, a much-deserved vacation.
Yeah, working hard, man, working hard to earn it. You know, like some people gotta earn it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, in other words, John, you're telling us that we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, gentlemen. Keep up the good work.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. We'll see you next Tuesday, John.
All right.
You enjoy
See
yourself.
you next Tuesday.
Enjoy the Sunshine State for me.
And say hello.
Thank you, thank
say
you.
hello to those Miami Dolphins while you're in Miami.
I will do. All right, gentlemen. Good night.
Good
All
night,
right,
John.
good night, John. John Zimmerman on vacation in Florida. I love that state. I'd love to go back there again.
Of course, I guess we're going to get a little bit of a cool down the next couple of days.
You know why? Because I have a lot of time on my hands the next 2 weeks myself.
Yes, you're on vacation.
I'm on I am planning an impromptu, much-needed vacation, perhaps tomorrow, to either the states of Rhode Island and/or Florida within the next week or two, even if it's just to get away for a day, because it's my favorite time of year, and you got to get away. That's for sure.
Yep.
But
So Sting has
Sting
interview?
is in the WWE now. He had his first interview with WWE.com. If you go to that website, you should be able to see it.
Oh, wow.
We have another call.
The phones are hot tonight.
Phones are hot tonight. Wow, we haven't had this much heat in a long time. Well, not in a long time. But you are live on the Squared Circle.
Hey guys, it's Bill from North Haven. How are you?
Hi, Bill. How are
How's
you?
it going, Bill?
Hey, just trying to keep busy. Hey, just got a couple of quick questions for you. I don't know if you noticed, I saw on the Raw show last night, R-Truth beat Bo Dallas.
Yes, we were
Or
going to
Bo-
mention
or-
that.
Or Bo Leave. So what's your take on that whole thing?
I was pretty surprised that it happened so quick.
I was, too. I must say, I was quite surprised.
Yeah, and I thought I thought Bo Dallas' reaction was kind of stupid at him attacking R-Truth like that and then running around the ring.
Do you think that's the start of another feud now? We'll see that going on for a while now?
We'll see that going on for a little while. I wouldn't say a long while, but maybe another
Yeah.
match, maybe a pay-per-view match at
What,
least.
what do you think, Bill?
I was confused. I just kind of was. I was very surprised. I mean, R-Truth. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He's a good, he's a good talent. But I was surprised that he beat him. And then, he kind of Bo Dallas goes into that, crazed tirade at the end, which he's done before. But I think it was like a week or two before they had him fighting. What's his name? The guy that comes out in the different costumes all the time.
Damien Sandow.
Sandow. And the crowd was actually, I think, cheering for him that time, so I wasn't sure what they were going to do. But I don't know. I think they don't know what they're going to do. They want him there, but they're not sure what to do. And I think they're going to screw it all up, and he's going to end up not doing much of anything.
Yeah, it's because of the type of character. He's supposed to be inspirational, a motivational speaker. They don't really know whether they want to make him a heel or a face.
What did you think of his get-up last night? Houston, we have a problem.
That was pretty funny. Clever.
He's hysterical. That stuff is good. And
Yeah.
there's only a few wrestlers through the years that have been able to pull that stuff off, and he does a pretty damn good job of it. So, yeah, I think they should let him keep on doing it, and just let the fans just either love or hate him.
It is. I mean, I enjoy it. It's comical.
Right. I remember a few weeks ago up in Hartford, and
When he came out as
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that was comical.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Bill, what did you think? What did you think of the attack on Roman Reigns?
The WWE has a tendency to do this with some of their stars, where these guys, they pump them up, and they're pretty much invincible, and fans either love them or hate them. But as soon as they turn them into I guess you say babyface, or turn them towards where the fans start to like them, they all have to take that one severe beating, so that the fans are like they're human, and because if they let them keep on going on, it just it just seems like the story might get old and boring. And I think I think the whole thing is Randy Orton's Randy Orton. I mean, he's kind of like when I think I heard you guys talking about before, John Cena with the belt. It's like, great, Cena's got the belt again. I mean, that was the great thing about Daniel Bryan. It was like he had the belt.
Yeah.
There's something different.
Oh yeah, and he's probably not much bigger than either you or I, Jay or Tom, overall.
Right.
And, that's something you can relate to, and I think that's what. And I've heard you guys mention this a lot of times on the show. Is I think that they truly, at some point, they don't really understand, or they don't know, or don't care what the fans think. And I think that's the thing that pushed Bryan was, that the fans really liked him, and they didn't want him to be the champion. I think, but sometimes I think they just kind of like, we got to go with it because this is what everybody wants,
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
They put him at the top because that's what the fans wanted. The fans don't, despite what they say. I mean, Cena gets booed a lot. It's the truth, and Orton. It's everybody's sick and tired of seeing Cena versus Orton or some variation of
And
it
then,
all
of
the time.
course, when The Rock comes back, we get sick of seeing that,
You
too.
get sick of seeing that too. The Roman Reigns beatdown last night was just done to infuriate the audience, just so that when Reigns comes out and seeks revenge upon Orton, which is probably going to be your next scheduled SummerSlam match, they're going to pop for Reigns a lot more now.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the one thing you have to really look at is Dean Ambrose. I think he's got longevity. Just the way his act. I think I've seen some of his older interviews, and he's got that little crazed look in his eyes that the fans always kind of relate to. That kind of just offbeat guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think he's only going to get better. And I think that, they just need to kind of say to themselves, where are we going in the next 5 or 10 years? And these are the guys that they got to take. I mean, I think the whole thing, even with, the fact that they talk about, which, I'm a big Sting fan, as you know. I think even bringing Sting in, I think Sting is probably very cognizant of the fact that he's not going to be wrestling for, 2 years, going forward. He knows he's got some limited time.
Right, yeah. Did you happen to catch his interview on the website?
No, I didn't. I caught an interview that he did. I think it was outside of when he went to, was it Comic-Con?
That was a Comic-Con. I believe that was a Comic-Con interview, right?
Yeah. And I thought that was good, too. But, I think, just the reaction they got when they put him out on the video game, and they showed, just a little promo, they went crazy. So what you saw, I'm sure you saw when he came out with after Hogan and Daniel Bryan at Comic-Con, and just like, if you just look at the audience, it's just like everybody jumped up. You got people taking pictures with their phones and going crazy. I think that's just a little microcosm of when he hits the ring, whether it's to come in and just run in and, clear house and, not have to wrestle too hard, or whether he goes in and wrestles maybe 2 or 3 really big matches. I think that's the big draw. And
I think that crowd's going to go crazy, especially if you see, let's say, Triple H and Stephanie standing in the middle of the ring, and all of a sudden, maybe the lights go out or something, and then the next thing you know,
Here comes Sting.
The lights come back up, and Sting's standing in the ring with a baseball bat, and he's pointing it at Triple H. I think the crowd's going to go nuts.
Oh, I believe
I think
that,
you're
too.
right. Hey, last but not least, because I don't want to take up your whole show, is I fell asleep before the end of the Jericho match, the last night. What was the final outcome of that?
Final outcome of that, I wasn't really paying too much attention, but the Wyatts did come out.
The Wyatts came out victorious.
Right. The Wyatts came out and just started hammering up on Jericho, just to basically, keep that feud going for their match at SummerSlam.
Where do you think that's going to go? How do you think that's going to culminate?
I think Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And they got to be careful with that too, because he kind of has these feuds where he's going through people, and it's, that could act, although it's a great act, that could get stale at some point, because he just kind of doesn't. He needs a longer feud to go on with somebody that he can now bring up and raise to the next level. And I think they got to find that talent out. So I'm surprised that I forget the guy's name, but I is on NXT, El Generico. I'm surprised that guy hasn't come through yet either.
Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's probably going to be up in the main roster before you know it.
Yeah, he's. That guy's good.
Maybe they'll bring him up while
They might keep
Daniel
him. They
Bryan.
might keep him there for the time only because they got the Japanese guy Kenta Kobashi coming in, They, as a matter of fact, they signed up. You ever heard of Prince Devitt? I think he was a Ring of Honor TNA guy.
Yep.
All right, he actually reported for duty at the Performance Center yesterday. As a matter
I was
of
going to
fact.
say, do you think they'll bring him, Sami Zayn up to cover the void by Daniel Bryan now, since he's got to have more surgery?
That's also possible.
Yeah.
You know, just it depends on how long term you're talking with Daniel Bryan not being around.
Yeah. And did you guys? What did you think of the TNA show on Thursday?
I didn't even have
Give
to,
me
I
one.
didn't have to catch it. The one time I saw TNA, I saw it not last Thursday, the one before that when they were in the Manhattan Center, just because I was curious. I thought maybe it would be a little bit better seeing it was in Manhattan. Not really. Kind of boring.
I think the fact they brought back the six-sided ring was good. Still they brought a lot of the ECW guys that are coming into the area, and I think that's just because they're in the Manhattan Center. So I think it'll be interesting to see when finally their contract really comes up for the final. Hey, this is we're going to keep you, or we're going to dump you. So it'll be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see them get another cable contract, but I really don't know who would pick them up. Being honest. They would have to really overhaul their whole product at this point.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys, listen, I don't want to, I know you guys got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I
No
appreciate
problem.
you.
No problem, Bill.
Always a pleasure hearing from you.
Yeah, someday I'll get down there to be in your vast studio audience.
We look forward to your call every week.
All right, guys, thanks. Have a great week.
You too, Bill.
You too, Bill. Take it easy. Super fan, Bill. Always love to hear from him.
Great caller.
Right. But getting back to that Sting interview, he was interviewed about his new working relationship with WWE, how the deal came about, and what his expectations are. He noted the first step was being part of the WWE 2K15 video game, his first WWE action figure through Mattel, and a new T-shirt. He was interviewed at the Comic-Con in San Diego. He says, to the WWE Universe, I would say, I'm the Stinger, and it feels good to finally be here in the WWE, and I promise it will be showtime if I ever get to step foot in a WWE ring, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you.
Wow.
So,
The Stinger has returned.
Stinger is finally there. He noted Triple H was very instrumental in getting him into the WWE. He says he's had great conversation with Vince McMahon over the years. And apparently that Vince always knew he would eventually conduct business with Sting. It was just a question of not if, a question of when.
Did he mention if he stayed in touch with Hogan since Hogan came back?
Nothing about that, but the only other things it was about people that potential opponents of his, John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H, The Rock, they all came to mind. Says he's a little disappointed in the fact that the streak came to an end because he was looking forward to taking on The Undertaker and possibly breaking the streak himself.
As we all were when it came to an end.
Oh, definitely. That and just not so much leaving TNA, but talking about what else has he been doing since the fall of WCW and his new start here in the WWE. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the air.
Me too. It ought to be interesting to see when they bring him in, and
when they bring him in, what they're going to have him do.
Yeah. In what capacity?
Right, as I think his wrestling career is almost over. He could, basically wrestle a few of these guys just to say he did it, but I don't really see him.
Do you think maybe they'll have him work in NXT, maybe?
Possibly work in NXT. Somebody like that. I mean, you think you're really going to have him start in NXT?
Well, I thought maybe as a mentor.
Maybe definitely as a mentor.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely, he could be an inspiration to a lot of the guys down there coming up, the up and comers, the main Raw and SmackDown roster. Definitely. Also, it's possible. I mean, the Authority is eventually going to I think, it's storyline reasons, the Authority is going to have to lose their power at some point, sooner or later.
Possible GM.
Possible COO.
Yep, GM, COO.
COO Hogan, COO Sting, something like that.
I mean, because they didn't bring in any new general managers for.
No, it seems like they've done away with that position altogether. Uh-oh. They're telling me they might have that surveillance footage ready.
Oh, do we have the surveillance footage?
Hopefully, it's coming up in 30 seconds,
Okay.
and
This just came into the home office today.
this came into the home office today, and after that, we'll talk about the surveillance footage, and after that, we're going to get the worst of the week. But we are ready
Yes,
to go.
can we go to that
Let's see it.
surveillance footage?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hollywood Jay Williams here at the Bristol Boys and Girls Club for the return of extremely talented wrestling. I cut my vacation short just to come back and support Vinny V. I was out in the wilderness along the lake, all these wild animals, and I come back. What? And now I got a zoo animal over here. Are you stalking me or something? What is that supposed to mean? Get that thing. I don't know where that's been. What? Get that. You want a shot at the North Haven title, don't you? What are you doing? Those are $300 sunglasses. Those are a prescription. I can't see now. What was it? One of the local stations around here gave us that mic. What? Get your disgust.
I don't know, Jay. I think he's got your number, Jay.
There I was, trying to cover ETW and the return of Vinny V and his promotion, and I get accosted by this zoo animal again. Do I have to walk around with security now all the time, wherever I go?
I think he wants to take the North Haven title from Hollywood Jay.
He's not getting that North Haven title from me.
I don't know.
That thing is in a secured vault.
I think he's got your number, Jay.
You're not going to take a piece of artwork out of the Louvre, are you? Or the Museum of Natural History in New York, right? Then you're not going to take the North Haven tile out of its secured vault.
We shall see. I mean, what do we have? The anniversary show of PWA coming up in September.
Really?
Do you think Saru will be after you that day?
We'll wait and see. I have to get the worst of the week. I don't have time to talk about zoo animals with 5 minutes left to go in the broadcast.
What do we have for the worst of the week?
We have some other law firm thinking that they're going to somehow, it's this belief that even though they may have made statements about how much money they're going to make off of network deals or their own launch of their own network, it's somehow this law firm thinks that they should be able to accurately predict the future, when in business you only hope that you can make what you claim you want to make, And this Robbins Arroyo LLP is a California-based law firm. They announced Friday they have filed a class action lawsuit against WWE in the U.S. District Court for the District of Connecticut. The firm is representing, and I quote, all persons who purchased WWE securities between October 31st, 2013 and May 16th of 2014. The suit is against WWE and certain officers and directors whom the firm alleges violated SEC rules. By just saying that they're hoping to make this or hoping to make that, and it didn't happen. Apparently, what if what it is the WWE misled investors by saying they could come up with a lucrative long-term TV deal, which never happened. They did not get nearly what they wanted out of that deal.
Was that with NBC?
The NBC Universal deal, and they had to take what they could get. Unfortunately, that's why now they're having all these cutbacks, laying off wrestlers, and cutting.
USA is owned by NBC.
And USA is owned by NBC Universal. But see, now they're making sacrifices. They're, cutting the roster. They're cutting John Cena and Randy Orton's BMWs that they rent every week. The catering, from what I understand. All that, and then due to the fact the network has not profited as expected. According to this press release, shareholders have up to 60 days from July 25th to serve as lead plaintiff in the lawsuit. According to the mission statement of Robbins Arroyo LLP law firm, their objective is to, and I quote, hold corporations and their fiduciaries accountable when their misconduct harms shareholders, employees, or consumers. How are they harming consumers by offering a network where you can get footage of all these pay-per-views from WWE, WCW, ECW?
Absolutely. I find it a great value.
You're not harming anybody. You can only say this is what we project.
Yeah.
Right,
I find it a great value, and I still don't understand anybody that doesn't have the network.
If you're going to sell hamburgers at a fair in September, you're going to have a stand. You can say, well, I'm going to sell 1,000 hamburgers today. But it's not going to mean you're going to sell 1,000 hamburgers.
That's what you're projecting.
You're projecting.
Yep.
Right. They're only making projections as to what kind of business that they're going to get, as to what kind of deals that they're going to get. They don't predict the future. There's no such thing as a time machine that Vince McMahon could go into the future and stop his company from folding. If it's going to fold eventually, which I highly doubt.
Highly doubt.
But Robbins Arroyo LLP, this week's worst of
the week.
Any final thoughts before we...
Great show. Great show, Hollywood. And, John will be back with us next week.
John will be back next week. I'm sure he'll be all sunburned and all that. Or maybe not.
Hopefully we won't see too much of John Cena this week.
Hopefully not. Hopefully Lesnar can get the job done. But we're going to wrap things up right now.
Thanks to Nick and Zach in the back doing a fine job once again.
Right. Saru, we're going to have to get back to you, buddy. I don't know. All right. Zoo Animal, you think you have what it takes? I just got to get that access code. I can't remember what I did with it.
But we will see you next Tuesday for Talking with Tom at 7 p.m. with Ed McCarver.
Definitely.
And our guest, Mr. Michael Cuomo and Bad News Bob.
Yeah.
Followed
if I'm not here, tell him I said hi and tell him to call me. I mean, what am I, a stranger?
You'll be here because, once again, we'll be followed by the Squared Circle at 8.
Oh, of course, definitely.
So that means I'm doing double duty next week.
Double duty next week. I am Hollywood J. Williams.
I'm Thunderous Tom Dacey.
Good night and good luck. We'll see you next week.
Good night.